the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Well, for the Pelicans, they've had a tough time over the last few weeks. 3-7 in their last 10 games. We'll see if they can make amends tonight. Well, it's rare these days to see a big man like Anthony Davis who can explode on the offensive end the way he can. What makes him so potent, Kenny?
Inside, outside, Ernie. You know, he can get it inside, he can get it outside. He's impossible to guard. And 50-point nights. I'm telling you, 50. 5-0. All possibility.
And what I like, he gets all the touches he wants on the floor. Way to feed the big man, Pelicans.
That's the same thing you used for the Hawks.
It's still a bird, though, right? Thank you.
Horrible. Kevin Harlan, it's all yours.
New Orleans, land of the Pelicans, in a fine Western Conference battle at the New Orleans Arena. Along with Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and our sideline reporter David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. The Timberwolves looking for a strong start to this road trip. And back in action is Anthony Davis. They are more than happy he is suited up and ready to play.
And man, injuries, they can just be so tough. The pain, the rehab, there's a monotony to it. Not being able to help your team out on the court, all of it weighs on you. And I'm sure he's excited and relieved to finally be back in uniform.
And there's no doubt psychologically he's going to give the team a huge spark. That's something they've been missing since he's been away, and I think this team is ready to rally around his return to the lineup.
And let's quickly get a pregame update from David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Alvin Gentry.
Okay, Kevin, thanks very much. He told me he's anticipating just as tough a game today as the first time they met this team, a result that did not go their way. He said, "We know we're in the underdog role against these guys, and that's fine by us. We welcome the challenge." Well, let's see if they're up to it. Kevin?
Thanks, David. Now that we're into the year, some teams starting to show cracks, Brent, could use an infusion of talent. How hard is it to make an in-season trade that can really have an impact on your team?
I think it's more and more difficult, Kevin, with the rules and the way that the salary cap is set up for teams really that are contending for something big to go out and all of a sudden grab that one piece. It's very rare that a team can go out that's sitting on top of the standings and find that one specialist that's going to come in and make that team even better. So when that does happen, you have to really commend GMs that have done their homework and manipulated the salary cap so that there's space for that kind of player.
Complex, I agree. All right, let's set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. And it's Towns in at the 5. It's good from long range.
Well, the ball whips around and finally gets to Jeff Teague, and he lets it fly. Just a terrific shot.
Rondo against Teague. Rondo kicks to Miller. Screen by Cousins. Miller, the pass to Davis. Just 5 on the clock. Off target from the wing. And about a minute gone here in the first quarter. Gibson the screen. Teague a screen on Miller. And it's Wiggins missing. On defense, the Timberwolves. They defeated the Wizards in their last game.
And you know what? Up against a weak defense, they were allowed to do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, what I like, though, besides that, is that they just didn't settle for it, because weak defenses, you could take bad shots. That's not what they did here tonight.
Here's Gibson. It's rebounded by New Orleans. And moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
Yeah, and they were just shaky at times when it mattered most in that game. And it cost them.
Yeah, Greg, I think you're right there. At major turning points, they miss a series of shots, they make some mistakes, and it led to the wipeout.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
When you're playing from behind, you cannot let your opponent have things that are that easy, and that was easy.
Teague with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against Washington. Here's Butler. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
And Butler loves getting close to the basket. Once he's down low, he uses that strength and quick release to get shots off.
Now here is Miller, who's coming off a 13-point game against the Warriors in Oakland. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Towns wide open. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Towns has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And it's Davis with the jam.
Whenever AD is floating around the basket like he was there, you know if he gets the ball, he's going to go for the jam.
T kicks to Butler. Wiggins dishes to T. Gibson the screen. Kicks it out to Wiggins. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
He used that screen to perfection and got a wide open look to knock down the jumper.
Screen by Cousins. And Holiday kicks to Cousins. To the inside, Davis. His shot is good. Scores his third basket in 6 tries. Shooting 50%.
You know, sometimes Cousins, with how well he sees the floor, has those bullet passes. That one on a string.
Now here's Teague. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. And the call will be against Darius Miller. That is his first foul of the game.
I mean, I like the call. I thought the defense was just there a little late.
On the wing, Wiggins, covered by Miller, and it's Wiggins missing. Pelicans trail by 6. Now here is Holiday. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. They grab their own miss. Anthony Davis again.
It's a phenomenal crash from Anthony Davis on the boards there. He comes up with the rebound and gets an easy putback.
Teague the pass to Towns. Teague kicks to Towns. To the paint. Shot clock at 6. And New Orleans pushing it up now. Miller's got the ball. Wiggins with the block. Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
And I'm just loving how Butler looks for his teammates. If you're open, he'll find you.
The Pelicans shooting 33% here in the first quarter.
And still varying opinions out there of what Andrew Wiggins can and can't do. But one thing that's indisputable, he's an incredible scorer. Whether it half-court transition, he can flat out fill it up in a hurry. And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Rondo kicks to Cousins. Down low. Here's Davis. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Davis has got 10 points.
This is a guy whose mindset just never changes. Even when they're losing, he's always going to be aggressive.
T kicks to Wiggins. They set the screen. Down low. Hangs in the air. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Well, Towns does so many things on the floor. Already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line. And looking at Towns and what he can do on the floor already at his age is impressive. This is a guy who's going to be a 20-10 player perhaps for the rest of his career. And as young as he is, I tell you, the sky is the limit.
Fires from 14. Wiggins dishes to Gibson. Back to Wiggins. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Butler kicks to Teague. Gibson the screen. Teague the pass to Butler. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. 6 points for Butler. And when you look at the second year for Towns, it's comparable to other great big men in the history of the NBA. And Greg, I'm talking about players in the top 50 of all time.
Yeah, I mean, just on the sophomore season stats, he looks like he projects to be one of the all-time greats. Comparable numbers to some of the best who have ever played it. Think of these names: Hakeem, Duncan, Ewing, and the Admiral. Maybe we'll be saying Karl Anthony Towns as well. Yeah, you know, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Well, coming out of the timeout, let's see if they go for the outside shot or if they look to go inside, try to build some confidence by seeing that ball go in.
Tony Allen's checked in for Drew Holiday.
And a terrific use of the floater, unguardable really, because you can't do anything defensively to stop it.
Here's Towns coming off a solid outing against Washington. Back to Wiggins. Over Miller. And it's Wiggins missing.
And they've come out with a take no prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
The three. Shots good by Miller. Miller's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from three.
Inside. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Davis dishes to Rondo. Cousins with a screen on Teague. Davis sets a screen. 6 on the shot clock. Davis setting the pick for Allen. Offline with his 3. Timberwolves leading by 6. Outside Teague. Tries again and fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
And from day one, Towns has been one of the NBA's top post players. A versatile, well-rounded game on the low block. It doesn't hurt that he can step outside and knock down the jumper either.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Cousins. Cunningham comes in for Davis. Ejuan Moore is checked in for Darius Miller. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Rajon Rondo. The free throw drops for Towns. Hey, Brady, you and I were talking about the toughest players in the league just a minute ago. It's easy to go right to physical attributes, but let's shift it. And who are some of the toughest guys mentally in the game now?
Well, those guys who are thinking out there on the floor, not only about what they have to do, Kevin, but getting their guys lined up and into right spots. I think that Marc Gasol does an incredible job of that in Memphis, especially as the center, knowing all the coverages, backing up the line of defense on pick and rolls, rebounding, outletting, scoring. That's a lot of work for a big guy. And the elite guys that we could talk about, Kev, Chris Paul and LeBron James. I mean, how good are those guys when it comes down to making sure that things are communicated between the coach and that all 5 guys know their responsibilities on the floor?
I bet if it can come from the back end, like you said with Gasol, what about a guy like DeAndre Jordan, who I think has really tried to improve that part of his game?
I think there's a lot more appreciation for how much DeAndre Jordan does, especially the way that he contributed to the USA team.
And this is what happens when you fail to block out.
Defensive rebounding just as important as causing the miss in the first place.
Now here's Jones. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Second shot opportunity, and Towns lays it in. And the Timberwolves lead by 7.
How about 5 straight made from the field to start?
Nelson kicks to Cunningham. Allen against Crawford. It's Allen with the drive. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tony Allen. That's his first foul. And the Timberwolves making a change here. MyLeague's checked in. Timberwolves leading by 7. And here's Jones. Feeds it to Jang. Over at Jinsa. Jang, no luck.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
There's the pick. Here's Moore. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way.
Moore just recognizing he had a little more space, if you will, Kevin.
Jones against Nelson. Jones kicks to Crawford. Passes to Jang. Back to Crawford. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Now how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket.
And they call an illegal screen here. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for the Pelicans.
And they really based almost their entire offense around the three-point shot. Spread the floor, space the defense, and if the deep shots aren't falling, at least it should open things up inside.
Minnesota leading by 7. Back to Jones. 1:35 left here in the first quarter. He kicks it to Muhammad. Takes it from 10. And there's another one for the Timberwolves.
And boy, have they come out strong, really pounding the offensive board for second chance points.
They set the pick. Here's Nelson to the middle. Here's Ajinça. Good, and a nice assist from Nelson. Ajinça's got his first basket of the night.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Crawford outside. Pass to Bielitsa. Jones for 3, and another 3 for Minnesota.
It's early, but they are getting pummeled on the glass.
Nelson against Jones. Dishes it to Ajinça. Allen kicks to Nelson. Pass to Ajinça. 13 feet away. Allen's shot is off.
Defense has to feel fortunate. Somehow he missed that opportunity, and still there's no reason for them to give up that kind of open shot.
And Nelson gets it to go. Nelson's got his second basket of the night.
And that's how they're going to trim this lead. Play tough D, force some turnovers, and then push it in transition.
Crawford kicks to Muhammad. And Jones has it in the corner. Again, the miss by Jones. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Between his points and his rebounds, he was a star for him in that quarter. And we'll be back with you shortly. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I've never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what do you guys think about Minnesota here in this one?
I mean, you saw it. That barrage of threes has them grooving here after one.
Well, they found a little bit of space out there on the perimeter, and they have a shared confidence right now. That tends to breed some success for this team.
They got Tony Allen. Ejuan Moore's out there with Cunningham. Then it's Nelson, and it's Ajinça in at the 5 spot. So that's the group out there for New Orleans.
And where's the fight defensively? I mean, you know you need stops to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, down by double digits, failing to shut down the lane. It has been a rough night.
The Timberwolves have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. And that one misses. Brent, the stretch 4. The 3 and D players. Specialties that have emerged over the years. Any other specialties you see becoming a trend?
The one that I see as a trend, Kevin, right now is the redefining of the 5 position. To think about guys like Porzingis, Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, being able to stretch a defense out at the 5 position all the way out to the 3-point line. We're redefining what it means to be a center in the NBA.
I'm sure there are traditional guys that see that and just can't believe what they're watching, huh? Guys out there that big and hitting shots.
Yeah, most of those old guys will take back to the home, Kevin. Just enjoy it while you can.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Pelicans do have their challenges, but Anthony Davis remains committed to winning in New Orleans. He said, "I love it here. I don't plan on leaving. I guess I fit into that old school category where I want to try to win where I start my career. That's always been a goal of mine. My goal is to bring a championship here." Kevin?
And David, loyalty does go a long way. Davis is a perfect guy to build your team around. He wants to win. Jones, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul called on the New Orleans Pelicans. And the New Orleans Pelicans last season with one of the worst offensive rebounding percentages in history.
Yeah, I mean, it improved somewhat with DeMarcus Cousins coming in. But I think really it's the team's philosophy, though. They value getting back in transition more than they value a chance to attack that offensive glass.
And he makes the first. Drew Holiday, he's checked in for Allen. He doesn't get the second one.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Here's Crawford. Rebound by Ajinça. Ajinça's got rebound number 5 here tonight. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And Moore kicks to Cunningham. Fires the 3. And Drew Holiday, the bucket on the assist by Nelson. And Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see 2 #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Now here's Jones. 6 points for him. Nelson outside. Moore in the corner. There's a screen. Now the dish to Cunningham. He feeds it to Holiday. And there's the pass to Ajinça. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Timberwolves leading by 10. Muhammad, the pass to Jang. Terrific assist, a nice finish. Solid play all around.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. And Alvin Gentry, coach under Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix, helped install elements of that offensive system with the Golden State Warriors.
Well, tough last year because their point guard missed most of training camp, Drew Holiday, so you try to establish a good offensive continuity during that time of the year, and that didn't exist. The amazing thing under Alvin Gentry is after making a massive trade during the All-Star break, this team got into the top 10 in terms of their defensive rating. That's impressive stuff.
Looking who's out there now for the Pelicans. DeMarcus Cousins. He's checked in for Alexis Ajinça. Davis comes in for Cunningham. Darius Miller, he's checked in for Ejuan Moore. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Nelson. The Timberwolves have gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. Teague dishes to Wiggins. Inside and stolen by Cousins. And New Orleans pushing it up now. Poked away. He can't get that one to fall. So Minnesota will take it the other way.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Pelicans trail by 12. Holiday left side. All sorts of time. They get it back.
And it seems like everything Anthony Davis is touching is turning to gold. And by gold, Kevin, I mean 2 points.
Teague kicks to Wiggins. The kick outside to Butler. And it's Bjelica with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. New Orleans has gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Davis sets a screen. Davis setting the pick for Rondo. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Teague.
And great job preventing that ball from coming into the post. Might have been an easy 2 if the defense wasn't there.
Miller up on top. Covered by Wiggins. Miller kicks to Rondo. Davis sets a screen. Gibson with the steal. Unloads from 13. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Just not his night so far, guys.
Rondo against Teague. Rondo kicks to Davis. Tried to bank it in, but he misses. Timberwolves leading by 10. Passes it to Bjelica. Back to Teague. Trying his luck deep. Bjelica misses. Rondo with it. Picked up by Teague. And then Cousins with the dunk.
Yeah, you got to respect the awareness level of Rondo. When his teammates have a clean look at the basket, the ball gets there without hesitation.
Now here's Butler. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Washington.
Ball movement was critical in this game. It did not stick with any one player, so his passing was on point, and he really picked apart the defense.
The Timberwolves have made 3 of their first 5 foul shots tonight. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Minnesota. Throw good. Wiggins. So, Brent, you averaged 21 points a game your senior year in college. What adjustments did you have to make to really score at the NBA level?
Well, I didn't have to ask for the ball much in college, but my first year in the pros, Kevin, I had to do that. I said, I'm open over here.
Right.
You know, really it was just a matter of being comfortable within the system, and then there's always that proving ground, Kevin. The first 6 months as a rookie or a first-year player that's getting ample time, you just want to prove that you're capable of handling your business in the league, and that all happened for me in my rookie year with the Los Angeles Clippers.
And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here. Butler with the steal. Outside Teague. He dishes it to Towns. Teague against Rondo. And Butler, here we go. That's good, and it's his 4th basket of the game. He's a strong 4 for 6.
He's a heady player. He knows how to get himself going and giving his team a real advantage right now on the offensive end.
Fouled in the act of shooting. A 3-point play chance coming up. And that sends Anthony Davis to the free throw line. Taj Gibson picks one up. The Pelicans with a star player in Anthony Davis. They want to win to keep him happy. Brent, no repeats of the Chris Paul situation from 2011.
Well, their trade for DeMarcus Cousins last year was incredibly interesting. A bold maneuver because of what the league is doing, shifting to a lot of guards, speed, 3-point shooting. To grab 2 bigs like this, 2 incredible talents, are they going to find a way to get this thing put together behind their coaching staff? He wants to win, and he wants to do it in New Orleans.
Now here's Teague. Kicks to Towns. The feed to Gibson. And stolen by Cousins. Here's Miller. And that one falls coming off of Davis's feed. Miller's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for New Orleans. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Outside Teague. Feeds it to Wiggins. Over Miller. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
This shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game. Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Here's Teague. After Drew Holiday's score. Now Towns. 13 points in the game. Teague can't hit.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Miller with a wide open look from outside off the mark.
He hit 1 3 in the first, but the well has been totally dry for him in the second.
And that one goes out of bounds. That's touched by Teague. And now a glance at the 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's top assist men over the past 10 games. In the 3rd spot, Jeff Teague.
And those games have seen him dropping more dimes than you might have thought possible.
Pelicans trail by 6. And Holiday kicks to Rondo. There's the pick. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That's his first foul. Allen's checked in for New Orleans. And so it's New Orleans with it. Here's Rondo. And the rejection by Towns.
And his foot movement is what makes Towns such a terrific shot blocker. He moves so well and can defend just about any position on the floor. Oh, inflicting some punishment with the 2-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. And so it's New Orleans with it. Following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Davis sets a screen. Miller with a screen on Wiggins. Davis kicks to Rondo. And the rejection by Towns. Floats it up for Butler. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Pelicans trail by 8. Allen passes to Cousins. He kicks to Miller. Screen by Cousins. Rondo against Teague. Just 5 on the clock. Davis sets a screen. Off the screen.
Still scoreless. You wonder if it's starting to get to him.
Timberwolves leading by 6. Towns the screen. Butler dishes to Towns. Teague for 3. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Davis has got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Well, a few things have become clear with Rondo in the past few seasons. One, Greg, he needs to be happy with his situation in order to be productive. And two, he can give you big numbers at times, but he isn't the player he once was on that Celtic team.
Yeah, and Rondo, he's such a hard-headed guy and has his own way of approaching things. If you clash with him, everything goes up in flames with his game. He needs to be on the same page with his coach, and he's running out of coaches who will put up with him. And there's no denying that Rondo is a wizard with the ball, exceptional at exploiting holes in the defense.
Jameer Nelson's checked in for New Orleans. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Shabazz Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Butler. And Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. Now here's Crawford. 9 points last game out. Pass to Towns. 6 to shoot. That's tipped. Kicks it out to Jones. His three-pointers off the mark. Pelicans trailed by 5. Dishes to Allen. Nelson against Jang. And there's Jameer Nelson on the assist by Allen. And that's now 6 points for Jameer Nelson. Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
That's the key. The D can't focus on one player, and no matter what anybody tells you, that ball will always move quicker than the defender.
Now here's Towns. 13 points in the game. Shot clock at 6. Here's Muhammad, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And a look here at the shot chart for New Orleans.
And every time he's pulled up from deep and let it fly, it's found a way to catch iron. Not sure if it is something with his release or the defense is bothering him on his threes, but I would expect him to attack the rim a bit just to kind of mix things up.
And that one falls for Muhammad.
As we've gotten closer to halftime, their style has become more and more physical.
Alexis Ajinça has checked in for New Orleans. Cunningham comes in for Rajon Rondo. Muhammad hits them both. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
It's Crawford on the wing. Defended by Allen. It's stolen by Davis. Crawford against Allen. Pass to Nelson. Davis with a screen on Jones. Nelson against Jones. 5 on the clock. Here's Davis. The basket good off the assist from Nelson. Davis has got 9 points now in the quarter.
The mid-range shot, a thing of beauty. AD continues to work on that area of the floor.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Kicks it out to Jones. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Screen by Jones. Towns. Can't hit that one. Davis with some nice D. Releases. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Timberwolves lead by 3. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy, you have come a long way in this league. When you look at your career now versus when you came in, how different is it?
Much different. I think on the floor, I'm supposed to do a lot more on both ends of the floor. And off the floor, I think it's still the same. People recognize my hair.
Well, it is a unique style, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Ernie Johnson alongside the Jet. That's Kenny Smith. The Diesel, that's Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of big-time action so far in this one. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
Shaq, how do you think New Orleans played?
Well, as we know, it's always a good idea to pound the ball into the paint. So many defensive game plans are focused just on stopping the three. When you hurt a team down low, they got to react. That allows you to play inside out. Trust me, I have the blueprint. I own the blueprint. I created the blueprint. Inside, kick it back out, shoot the three. Rick Fox, B. Shaw, and big shot, Bob for three. The crowd go crazy. I know you remember that, Ernie.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. You look at Anthony Davis in this game, he's been everywhere.
And how about that? Already through 2 quarters and some change, he's got a double-double.
Well, it's an impressive performance thus far, but it goes beyond just his ability. Right now, he's just simply outworking the opponent.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Timberwolves leading by 3. So on the floor for Minnesota, Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle, and it's Teague in at the point. Butler kicks to Teague. He feeds it to Gibson. Back to Teague. Butler against Holiday. Good work there as it goes. 10 points for Jimmy Butler.
And Butler is a polished mid-range scorer. You got to be up in his jersey whenever he's around that area of the floor.
Now here's Cousins. Second chance shot, and he lays it up and in. Cousins has got his second bucket.
Bucket earned, out muscling and out hustling everybody for the rebound.
The dish now to Gibson. Misses off the left iron.
Looked a little bit forced. No reason for it either. The defense was not even in the frame.
Here's Miller. The offensive rebound goes back up. Gibson with the steal. Shot from 16, and Butler gets it to go on the assist by T. 12 points for Butler.
And just only so much you can do against Butler. Even in the face of intense defense, he stays focused on that basket.
And Davis wide open. He shoots, and it's off from three-point range. Here's Towns.
Oh, yes, sir. That's the kind of work you want your point guard to do. Sensational ball movement by Jeff Teague there to set up his man.
That was a terrific replay brought to you by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Now here's Rondo. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now he averages nearly 12 points a game.
And you gotta love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of a grinded out game.
Here's T. After Drew Holiday's score. Wiggins kicks to Gibson. Back to Wiggins. Butler in the corner. Nice D from Cousins.
You got to make that. The defense was far from terrible, but man, that's an easy shot.
There's Miller with the 3, and Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down.
That's where I like the shot selection. The defense cannot afford to give up wide open shots. And they dodged a bullet there.
Butler passes to Gibson. He dishes it to Towns. Over Davis. Karl Anthony Towns again. Towns has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, the onslaught continues. He's been unstoppable now for a couple of nights.
Well, a tip of the cap to the coaching staff here. They're recognizing how well he's playing, so the game plan has been built around him.
Greg, when you watch DeMarcus Cousins play, you can see the beating he takes in the post, can't you?
Yeah, and that's just how it goes with star centers
with the size and activity of Cousins. Just like Shaq in the sense, big bruising centers are hard to officiate. Other players can lay into them and not even make a dent, but anyone else, it would be a foul.
And the first one drops.
We talk about usage rates around the NBA, and DeMarcus Cousins is right up there on the top of the list. He trailed only Russell Westbrook last season, and how often he was involved in any team's particular offensive play just goes to show you, with his time in Sacramento, how heavily relied upon he was.
And Cousins drops them both. And Brett, the usage rate you spoke about, it's a formula involving shots and free throws for time on the floor. Most of the top 10 are playmaking guards.
Well, this guy right here is capable of doing some of the things that guards can do. DeMarcus Cousins, an incredible talent as a big, and certainly his situation in Sacramento lent itself, Kevin, for those guys to try to feed him as much as they could to generate some offense. When Anthony Davis came into the NBA, you started to think about how he could dominate on the post, but it's really the growth in him as a shooter to stretch it out, shoot three-point shots, that really has opened up some eyes.
And that one falls for Anthony Davis. And Davis changed his whole shooting form in New Orleans. He used to shoot from his chest. It blocked his view of the basket. That's
never a good thing. That's your target. So shifting it over on the right side, more towards the shoulder, raising up so that he's got a more clear shooting window. That takes a lot of diligent work, Kevin, and a lot of players try their whole career to fix a shot that's failed. I think AD has done a good job of not only committing to it, but finding success with the new form. Such a big bonus to have a big guy that can step up to the free throw line and knock down shots. So many guys struggle from there.
It's Bielitsa, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, easy call.
A lot of people feel that for the Pelicans, Anthony Davis is best at scoring off the assists, so player movement and ball movement. They love to create a free-flowing offensive style to help complement that part of his game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And the Pelicans, Brent, looking for more ball movement.
Well, to their credit, they've done a good job of protecting the ball. Not a high turnover team, but just middle of the pack in assists. And a lot of that comes with being familiar with one another. That's something the Pelicans have suffered through. With all the injuries, they'd like to get guys consistently on the floor. I think those numbers will go up.
And he makes both free throws. Here's Rondo. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Screen by Cousins. Davis kicks to Holiday. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. Holiday's got 4 points now in the quarter. There's a screen. Fires the three. Good on the triple.
Some guys just take pride in how they set screens. It might seem like a small part of the game, but as you saw there, it can have a huge impact in getting a shooter an open look at the basket. Yeah, that's just not a good pass. I don't know what he's thinking there. A poor decision.
Minnesota leading by 6. Teague with the ball. And the pass to Towns. Wiggins outside. Over Moore. Another shot. And Towns finishes inside. Towns has got 19 points.
Just creating havoc for the opponents the last few games.
You saw by that putback there, he's just completely locked in. They're getting full contributions from him right now.
And now we get a moment to see the numbers for Butler. He's putting up about 21 points per, 4 assists and 4 rebounds. And he's a threat to go off in any game from anywhere.
I love it when guys tap back into that gift. All these guys at some point were that kind of player in their career. Fun to see it show up here.
And the first one at the line is good.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
And so Anthony Davis nails both of them. And a story of two halves last season for the Pelicans. An 0-8 start, but encouraging signs, Brent, down the stretch.
Yeah, they ended up with the 11th best net rating in the NBA after they made the trade during the All-Star weekend for DeMarcus Cousins. So if this team can gel and if they can get these pieces to work together, they do have the chance not only to excel, but to be very special with the unique talents of their bigs.
Now here's Moore. Jimmy Butler unable to get his last shot to go, but they'll get another chance. And Davis gets it to go.
Well, when Davis can get that kind of position down low, those kinds of looks are pretty much golden.
Now here's Teague. It's Bielitsa. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got 5 assists tonight.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Now here is Holiday. 9 points in the game so far. Passes it to Cousins. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. Cousins has got 6 points in the quarter. Timberwolves leading by 4. Teague dishes to Butler. Tipped away and stolen by Cousins. And New Orleans pushing it up now. Moore's running. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. Hit his foot. And they're saying he kicked the ball. New Orleans making a switch here. Nelson's checked in. Timberwolves also changing it up. Zhang comes in for Towns. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. Here's Jones. 6 points for him. Floats it up for Butler. Out of bounds. New Orleans will take possession. We see a chart here for the shooting performance so far for Butler.
Well, just look at the cluster in the middle of the paint. That right there tells you all you need to know about how they have built the lead they have. They are playing with more intensity on the offensive side of the ball, and it's the difference in the game right now. You have to love how they've approached this matchup.
Pelicans trail by 4. Outside Holiday. Butler with the steal. From 18 feet away, it's rebounded by New Orleans. Cousins has got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Tipped away. Screen by Cousins. Holiday, the pass to Cousins. To the middle, Nelson. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. Cousins has got 3 assists in the game. And here's Jones. There's the pick. Moore against Wiggins. Looking to get back on track here. Rebounded by Moore. New Orleans has gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. The game now all-time. 10 points for Jameer Nelson.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Wiggins, a screen on Nelson. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. Teams that make their free throws, they're so tough down the stretch. Let's check out the best. The Timberwolves, number 1.
You can't be careless when you play them. I mean, no wasted opportunities at the line. It's a team effort, and they're getting it done.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Cousins. Cunningham comes in for Davis. And Tony Allen subbed in for Drew Holiday. And Moore kicks to Cunningham. Now the feed to Nelson. Pass to Ajinça. 6 on the shot clock. No good off the back of the rim. For Minnesota, they've gotten half their shots to drop in the second half up to this point, going 7 of 14. Jones sets the pick for Jang. Moore with the steal. Nelson against Jones. Nelson dishes to Cunningham. Nelson against Jones. That's tipped. Now the Timberwolves with it. Their last encounter was in New Orleans, where they were able to handle the Pelicans.
And in the last face-off against these guys, they enjoyed a huge advantage in free throw percentage.
That puts them in the lead. And that's 12 points for Jameer Nelson. Timberwolves trail. Crawford outside. Kicks it to Muhammad. Jones, no one around him. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. The Pelicans have gone 8 of 16 in the third quarter to put their second half shooting percentage right at 50%. Here's Allen. Lays it up and banks it in. And it's a 4-point New Orleans lead.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
Ejuan Moore out of Purdue, the 45th pick in the 2011 draft. Really pretty much a 3-and-D combo guy and has some versatility even to guard the point guards.
And Moore is certainly a self-made player. He prides himself, in fact, on his work ethic.
I think about in 2017, Moore coming around, drilling 77 three-pointers and shooting 37% last year. So becoming a bit more effective as a two-way player with those kind of numbers.
Shooting 2.
Free throw drops for Crawford.
Jamal Crawford, a guy who has won multiple Sixth Man of the Year awards, and a guy that comes off the bench and provides you with some instant offense, ready to shoot and certainly ready to shake a defender with those incredible handles.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Bielitsa. And so Jamal Crawford nails both of them. And for Crawford, it's a luxury to bring him off the bench.
Well, Jamal Crawford is not a high percentage shooter, but with that volume shooting, you know he has the opportunity to impact the game, coming in and scoring and getting buckets. There are a lot of people who really enjoy watching Jamal Crawford come in, putting the ball on a string and making scoring sometimes look easy.
Now here's Jones, following the miss by Tony Allen. Gibson the screen. Jones kicks to Crawford. Inside. Here's Muhammad. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Oh, man, he'd love to have that one back. He just does everything right, but doesn't get the finish.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, Crawford's such a unique player. Tall and skinny, devastatingly quick, great handle, and an innate ability to score the basketball.
Two shots.
Throw good. Crawford. Darius Miller, he's checked in for more. Both free throws good from Crawford.
Kevin, these are easy points. Remember, free throws.
1:44 left in the third. Allen kicks to Nelson. Shot clock at 5, and so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. It's going to go on Tyus Jones. The Pelicans have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. Free throw drops for Nelson. Both free throws good for Nelson.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Nelson against Jones. Crawford outside. Muhammad on the wing. Jumper off the screen, and that's good off the glass that time. Muhammad's got the game tied up here for the Timberwolves. New Orleans gotten off to a very slow start from three-point range in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Now Nelson. 14 points for him. Cunningham kicks to Allen over Crawford. And the Pelicans miss again.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
Here's Miller, and it's Miller with the jam.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Well, this team now has to settle in right here and have a great possession without getting so aggressive that you compound your mistake.
And that was an easy one there, just a missed opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes everything can go right, but the shot doesn't go down. Nothing there is automatic.
The Pelicans have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them. First free throw is good. Both free throws good for Nelson.
And just a better job of getting to the line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
Crawford kicks to Gibson. Jones sets the pick for Gibson. Back to Crawford. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Crawford's got 6 in the quarter.
Jamal Crawford's so hard to handle in one-on-one situations. That time blows past the defense.
Nelson, the pass to Miller. Looking to end his cold spell, and he's able to get it back. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. New Orleans on top, leading by just 2. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from New Orleans. Now let's hear what Coach Tom Thibodeau was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
Defensively, make sure we're all getting rebounded. No second shot. In transition, everyone talk. No open threes in transition.
And Tom Thibodeau wanting his team to pay particular attention to certain areas of their defense.
Yeah, taking care of the defensive boards, allowing no easy baskets on the fast break. These are key elements in terms of you having success.
We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. They've got Jameer Nelson. Alexis Ajinça is out there with Cunningham. Then there's Allen. And it's Miller in at the small forward. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. Now here's Crawford. Jones in the post. Guarded by Nelson. And Miller with the block. Nelson with the steal. Miller's got room. Up again. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. And the Pelicans lead by 6.
I tell you what, he was on a mission on that possession. Did not stop working until he got it up and in.
Here's Crawford. And no good that time. Now New Orleans will take it the other way.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Now, here is Nelson inside, and Jones over to help. And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. There's the foul. That's against Minnesota.
2 shots, gentlemen. 2.
Free throw drops for Nelson. Rajon Rondo is checked in for New Orleans. Towns, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Teague comes in for Jones. Both free throws good for Nelson. Timberwolves trail by 8. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Towns with it. He's against Cunningham. Tries again. And the rejection by Ajinça. Teague against Rondo. In the corner, it's Nelson. And he can't extend the lead to double digits. Here's Crawford. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. And that's now 10 points for Crawford.
Not a stellar first half, but he's become an absolute machine scoring the ball in the second.
Nelson dishes to Cunningham. Outside Rondo. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Ajinça. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Ajinça's got the lead up to 8 now for the Pelicans. Here's Crawford. Towns trying to get open. Crawford, no luck.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
That pushes it to double digits. And the Pelicans lead by 11.
I mean, letting that guy shoot freely from out there, he's going to destroy you from the perimeter if you do that.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
And one thing they'll discuss are their defensive rotations. The other is in the matchups.
We're seeing very little help defense on the inside, and even when there is help, it's been ineffective.
Some changes for New Orleans. DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for Alexis Ajinça. Davis comes in for Dante Cunningham. And it's Drew Holiday in for Jameer Nelson. Minnesota also making some changes. Wiggins is checked in for Muhammad. And it's Butler in for Jamal Crawford. It's a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, well, let's summarize what Tom Thibodeau went over with his guys during the break. He is not happy with the sloppy play offensively. He said, make the easy play. Take care of the ball. We can't afford to just give away golden opportunities. And we'll see if they can clean it up, guys.
Oh, forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend.
And how? Brilliant throwdown. Now, here is Miller. No good on that one. Wiggins with some nice D. Outside Butler. Feeds to Wiggins. Back to Butler. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau. Joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Butler.
And watching Jimmy Butler, he just offers so much on offense from a scoring standpoint. You know, obviously he can get to the rack and draw the defense to him. Also really improved his ability to knock it down from beyond. Just a complete offensive player.
He's perfect from the line this time. And Greg, as you said, Butler is a threat to score from any part of the floor.
It's a bit of a dying art, though, hitting that mid-range jump shot. Butler also does a great job of getting to the line. That's increased over the course of his career. Just a well-rounded offensive player.
Cousins, and he makes good on the layup. And the Pelicans lead by 9.
Man, when he goes to work inside, Kevin, it's just unstoppable. What a force.
The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. And Gibson kicks to Wiggins. Sent back, and they're able to recover. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's foul number 2 for him. New Orleans leading by 9. Rondo with it. Screen by Cousins. Rondo kicks to Cousins. Out to the wing. Releases from 15. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Stolen by Holiday. Over to the left wing. Here's Rondo. Offensive rebound. Here's Davis. And they convert at last on attempt number 3. And now it's an 11-point New Orleans lead. And for the Timberwolves, they're shooting 43% from the floor. T kicks to Butler. Wiggins outside. Butler against Miller. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Wiggins has got 4 points in the quarter. Now here's Rondo. Screen by Cousins. Miller outside. Back to Rondo. Shot clock at 6. Beyond the arc. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Yeah, no question who's been the aggressor on the offensive glass.
Timberwolves trail by 11. Here's Teague. And here's Towns. Outside Butler. 6 on the shot clock. That one is no good. He is 6 for 11 in the game. And Holiday has it in the corner. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. That's 12 points for Drew Holiday.
Really like the form from Drew Holiday there. He always looks to take those if the D is going to back up off him.
To the left side wing. Gibson passes to Wiggins. Here's Teague. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And really one of the quickest guards in our league. Jeff Teague just puts tremendous pressure on your defense when he's attacking the paint.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Bielitz has checked in.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw good, Teague. And the book on Teague, Greg, is to make him an outside shooter. You don't want him getting to the rim.
I mean, he's a good finisher around the rim. His outside shooting, although streaky at times, Not bad, but not great either.
So he gets them both. During the pre-draft process, Brent, we're seeing more and more players refuse to work out for certain teams and for a variety of reasons. How would you feel about drafting a player who declined to work out for you?
I think I feel much better, Kevin, if I had a tremendous track record and confidence in the scouts that I have deployed throughout the season who've gone out and seen these players, not just once or twice, but 10 or 12 times over, where we could still make the assumption about what this player can do for our organization without having some personal time or the individualized workout. So it's up to your staff to do their diligence.
Holiday gets the bucket.
He's been a different guy here in the second half. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
Towns a screen on Rondo. T kicks to Bielitsa. And a miss there on the triple. Pelicans leading by 14. Here's Holiday. Miller. The tip in on the offensive rebound. Miller's got 5 points now this quarter.
That's a nice tip in. You can't leave him alone on the offensive glass or he'll find a way to get to the ball.
Towns a screen on Rondo. T dishes to Towns. A three-pointer off the mark.
Well, he made 1 3 in the first half, but he hasn't found a way to connect again from outside during the second.
Really left alone that time. Miller's got 10 points in just the second half.
Yeah, D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Here's Bielitsa. He kicks it to Towns, and Davis sends it back.
Just a wonderful effort from Davis on the defensive end with that rejection.
And it's Bielitsa with the foul. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Muhammad, he's checked in for Bielitsa. Now Holiday. Left side Davis. Muhammad with the steal. Here's Butler, and slam dunk by Butler.
And everyone knows Butler is a lockdown defender, but also terrific at coming up with steals.
And here's New Orleans now. They're on a 16-6 run. Davis sets a screen. Rondo passes to Davis. Here's Holiday. Minnesota with the rebound. Towns has got 11 rebounds in the game. Butler kicks to Towns. Dishes to Gibson over Davis. That one's not going to go.
And getting a hand in the shooter's face, locking down that in-between area.
Just taking on the challenge on every possession. I love defenders who give nothing away.
And certainly they are not hesitating, letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
Minnesota calls timeout. NBA official, NBA referee, Brent, has to be one of the toughest jobs in the world. There's been a lot of talk about adding an official to the court. Would that make a difference?
No, I'm thinking, Kevin, that's like asking 4 of my buddies to add a 5th guy to go out and they're all single. That means there's another guy I got to compete with. So maybe we don't have another set of eyes on the NBA game. Lots of physicality, lots of pushing and shoving. You may see more foul calling, which will slow down the tempo and the rhythm of the game. I'm not sure that's the best idea for the league.
So then adding the Secaucus and the extra eyes in New York to look at calls, I think that might take the place of adding the official.
I think the league has done a great job, Kevin, having Secaucus now have the ability to make some of those calls to help speed up what we do with regards to the replay.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Crawford's checked in. Moment here now for an injury report. Let's find out the news on Andrew Wiggins. David, what's the update?
Hi, guys. The head athletic trainer for the Timberwolves let me know the status. And the news is pretty good. It does not look like a severe injury. The season is still very young, but that is bad news to get at any point of the year. We'll see how the team responds without him, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. Hopefully everything works out for him. The free throw drops for Butler.
And Butler does so many things well. I mean, shoots a high percentage from everywhere, and a gritty defender. He does it all.
And so Butler nails both of them. Pelicans leading by 18. Rondo with the ball. Outside, Davis. Here's Holiday, and the rejection by Towns. Teague dishes to Crawford. It's stolen by Rondo. Oh, and here we go with Rondo. Nobody back. And he makes that one. And the Pelicans lead by 20.
How about the energy? Just relentless here. Rondo excellent at just gliding down the floor and finishing in style.
Crawford's shot is good.
He has a little bit of trickeration with that one. Gets that one to go against the limb.
Wait, did you just say trickeration, GA? I think it's a size disadvantage there that he was willing to attack, but you have to develop that skill set and have counters.
And here's the break. Teague with the ball. He's picked up by Rondo. Here's Butler, and that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got 6 assists here tonight.
And Butler knows how to take over games. Really good with his shot selection down the stretch.
New Orleans has gone 4-6 from beyond the arc in the fourth quarter so far.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Pelicans.
Their hard work on the glass paid off.
I tell you what, they're both excellent rebounding teams, and it was a tough battle underneath all game. And I think ultimately that earned the W.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And they're able to even the score of this series at a game apiece. Still, 2 more to go in the season series.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Anthony Davis.
That's amazing defense from him. Seemed to know exactly when to pounce on the passing lanes and predictive steals.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. They're in front by 15. 1:07 left in the fourth quarter. A platoon swap here for New Orleans. Now here is Nelson. Pass to Moore. There's the pick. Back to Nelson. And it's Moore penetrating. An easy layup after coming off the pick.
And this is how you close out a game, not taking any chances.
Yeah, you gotta be relentless in this game or the tide can turn on you. Not here, not tonight.
Now here's Crawford. He feeds it to Towns. Teague for 3. Rebound by Agenza.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Nelson, and blocked. That one goes careening off the glass.
Taj Gibson doing a good job of just getting the hands up, and then the instincts come into play with the block. You know, we talk so much about accurate shooting. Sometimes accurate passing can lead to great shooting. You saw it there.
Nelson outside. So we see New Orleans taking the W here. Some good moments throughout this one, but they had the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way they executed on both ends of the floor. Completely under control for the vast majority of the game. And whenever there was a misstep, they just didn't allow it to fester. And that's why they're going to walk away with the win.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Anthony, this was a win where you guys looked like you were confident and understood that you really can win every time out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, coming into every game, we think we can win each game, and we definitely believe that. And we got to go out there and fight every game, you know, hustle, our energy, our defense, and, you know, we're going to fight for the rest of the season.
Looking good out there right now, Anthony. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.